is up, Flyover family? Welcome to today's episode of the Flock Talk Show. We have so much to talk about, including the 22-10 wild card victory over the Green Bay Packers, the good and the bad, and some improvements that we should make going into the LA Rams game this Sunday, and some general news, and also a little preview of the Rams game and things of that nature. Um, so, first and foremost, we're going to talk about the good on the offense. In terms of the good on the offense or however is I think Jalen actually played pretty well. He was only sacked twice. There was no lost fumbles, you know what I'm saying? There was no interceptions, things of that nature. He had 61% completion, two passing touchdowns, one to Goddard, one to Dotson. Goddard, he made a couple plays, things of that nature. Saquon Barkley had 119 yards, 4.8 per carry. Elliott, I thought he had a decent day. He was 3 for 3 on field goals. You guys can look this up on the Score app. I'll put it in my sources as well. Smitty and Gainwell, they made plays as well. Smitty had like back-to-back catches and things of that nature. Jalen Hurts, he started off like really hot, 6 for 6 and things of that nature, and then 0 for 7, and then 7 for 8. So it really doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? How the play calling can go from like good, you know what I'm saying, to where Jalen can be on fire passing wise, and then the next minute just absolute trash. So they can dial stuff up, it just needs to be like consistent good stuff, not just half good stuff and then half garbage, it's just I don't know. But and then obviously good on defense. That's what we're going to talk about next is the good on defense. I thought that there was a lot to talk about. So first and foremost, the biggest goods on the defense. There was 3 interceptions, one by Bond, one by Slay, and one by Quinion. Thought that was absolutely good. It was both Slay's and Quinion's first playoff interception, but in Quinion's case, it's first like career interception, like period. Maddox, he actually made a pretty good play. Things of that nature. Surprisingly, credits are where credits due. Forced fumble by Burks to give the Eagles the ball to start both halves. It wasn't even a 3 and out. It was basically our ball, like from the jump or however the case. Even though we technically kicked it off to them, and then obviously in the second half we received kickoff. So absolutely smart play and whatnot, or however the case, and good aggressiveness. But then again, he also, we'll talk about that here in a second. But no passing touchdowns allowed. There was only a one rushing touchdown, which is kind of what I predicted in a way, but I was still wrong. You know what I'm saying? That essentially there would be more than one rushing touchdown allowed. Heck yeah. And then one field goal, obviously 22-10, won by 12. Absolute lockdown performance. Jordan Love, like he didn't really look that good. 3 interceptions, things of that nature. So the only bads on defense, obviously, Nakobe Dean tore a patellar tendon in his knee, so he'll be out for the playoffs. It takes about like a year to recover from and things of that nature. So, prayers up to him. I hope he gets well fast and things of that nature. So, yeah. And then also at times, there was bad tackling and whatnot, but obviously it didn't lead to much, but it was just irritating to watch in the moment. Gotta like consistently, keep up the tackling and things of that nature. And after Burks' forced fumble or however the case, like when he was actually like taking like snaps or however the case as linebacker, he missed like a few too many tackles. So hopefully Trotter could step up or however the case in place of that. But we have news about that here in a second. So next up, bad on offense. That's the next topic we're going to talk about. Quite a bit to talk about there. So the biggest things that stuck out to me in terms of the bad on the offense were the fact that there were too many wasted drives off of the turnovers again. There were 4 total turnovers, essentially. We had one good drive, or however the case. Again, we started off hot, or however the case, and then I just think there was a lot of horrible pass route combos and trees and things of that nature. So, and obviously, the offense committing penalties and things of that nature, I don't think that helped too much. AJ did not get enough touches. 3 targets, 1 catch for 10 yards. Come on now. You got to get him involved early and often, things of that nature. So, and again, horrible third down play calling. I'll go into detail what I mean by that, or however the case. In my opinion, Next thing we should talk about is what needs to change going into the Rams game and things of that nature. Um, we need to see better offensive play calling. Obviously, defensively, can't really ask for much better things of that nature. But yeah, no more screen plays. At times, the O line was letting them through. You know what I'm saying? So definitely, the O line has to step up and things of that nature. So, and again, capitalize off of turnovers. Um, so my final thoughts about the game. Um, we started great on offense, or however the case. I thought we played great on defense the entire time. Again, Jalen started 6 for 6 and a touchdown. Then whoever calling the plays, obviously on offense, fell asleep or something like that. I don't blame Jalen or however the case. I blame the coaching. Again, for the pass route combos, the play calling, the O line not protecting Jalen versus the blitz at times, and at times nobody was open or however the case. So, I mean, if nobody's open, then I mean he's not supposed to play wide receiver too. Um, he had 111.4 quarterback rating. Jalen arguably only did two things wrong, and that was throwing it away versus taking a sack, and that was only twice. Arguably, and you can make that case or however the case. I'd also go on to say that in terms of the defensive performances, we need like three identical defensive performances where we only allow like 10 points or less basically throughout the entire game. Um, we have to do that in the divisional, the NFC Championship, and the Super Bowl. We need a ring. I don't care about the record. I don't care. Oh, we won 14 games, so because then everyone's gonna say, oh well, you won 14 games, but then choked in the playoffs or choked in the Super Bowl. We need a ring. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and as an offense or however the case, like offensively speaking or however the case, step up. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be play calling or however the case, stop wasting drives. That's like the biggest thing. Like their offense giving you free drives. Like don't just waste them all. Oh, we don't care about them. It'll be all right. You have AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goddard, Grant Calcaterra, Saquon Barkley. I mean, come on now. The top O line in football. I mean, come on. I do realize that Green Bay had numerous injuries throughout. I do completely recognize that. I do recognize that entirely. But at the same time, they did start with most of them and whatnot, or however the case. Most of them happened during the game. And those who think Jordan Love is better than Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love choked in this game, just like Herbert. The only difference is Herbert threw one more interception, and one of them was a pick six. So, literally the only difference, or however the case. Um, he had zero pass touchdowns, or however the case, because again it was a field goal, and then Josh Jacobs got him for a touchdown. So, and then again, he only had a 41.5 quarterback rating. And even then, on all of our wasted drives, basically on the three and outs or however the case, because Kellen Moore, Nick Sirianni, they're just, they wasted AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, or however the case. People can say, oh, it doesn't matter how you win or however the case. We'll talk about that later, but man, it's just wasting the talent. General news. Obviously, Nakobe Dean, he was put on IR for his torn patellar tendon in his knee. I wish him a speedy recovery and whatnot. Joseph Nagata was cut from the practice squad. Linebacker Nicholas Morrow was signed to the practice squad. And then Elijah Cooks, wide receiver, was signed to the practice squad. And then Paris Campbell was signed to the active roster. So, a lot of moves, things of that nature. I'm just glad that the O-line got out healthy and things of that nature. And Jalen's pretty healthy, and hopefully, he's a little bit more in rhythm and things of that nature. So, so officially, Jalen Hurts has more wins than Dak Prescott in the playoffs. In the playoffs, when it matters the most, he has more wins, and he's played basically twice as long, basically. Crazy. And he's had stacked offenses too. He's had similar offenses. The only thing is he's a choke artist. It's the only thing. And everyone's so afraid to call people out like how they used to, like how Stephen A. Smith used to be like, oh, Kwame Brown's a bona fide scrub, or however the case, and then Jamarcus Russell, good for nothing, Job of the Hut, that they're afraid to call players out like that. He's that bad, in the playoffs. He's that bad of a choke artist. People have to call people out. He's a choke artist. And Jalen Hurts, he also stood up to 6'4", 331-pounder T.J. Slatton for Barkley after like excessive roughness and things of that nature, like after the whistle or however the case. I fully support that. I believe that's why like his leadership and whatnot or however the case. People can cry about it or however the case, but that's why you want him on your team. That's why you want him as your quarterback for situations like that. He stood up for his running back. He stands up for his guys and things of that nature. So. AJ Brown, he shuts down news about reading like the book or however on the sideline. Sirianni defends him. He said he brings the book to every game and things of that nature. Um, and basically, everyone on the Eagles is basically saying, yeah, if that's his way of staying focused or however the case, and that's his way of locking in, we're all for it. It's reading a book about inner excellence for crying out loud. It's not a book about, oh, I'm leaving. It's not a book titled, oh, this and this and that. That's bad or whatever. It's literally called inner excellence. It's not nothing bad. And then he said, why y'all always thinking I'm frustrated, things of that nature is what AJ Brown said in his interview. Nick Sirianni, he says no victory Monday, that we're going back to work and whatnot. I mean, I understand this time they'll have more time to game plan or however the case, but I mean, come on now. Either way, come on. I doubt that that's the best they could come up with. Third down is reason for Jalen's alleged rust. Here's the third down play calls and whatnot. A 3rd and 5 quarterback draw. 3rd and 10 weak ass freaking screen versus a blitz. 3rd and 12 run. 3rd and 12 scramble. 3rd and 10 run. 3rd and 13 run. I mean, come on now. I mean, are you allergic to passing the ball? I mean, I know Jalen can pass the ball. He's been clutch in terms of that before. I mean, come on now. Because then teams are going to make you throw it on 3rd down, basically. Eagles say that winning is all that matters. Saquon said that it doesn't matter if we win by if it's like 3-0 or how the win looks, just as long as we win. Lane Johnson, he said that basically in his own way or however the case, that like since it's the playoffs, a playoff win's a playoff win basically. Saquon, again, he like voiced it like very passionately and things of that nature. In my opinion, I mean, with all that talent, I mean, playing like that, man, come on, I'm trying to get a ring this year. I mean, don't y'all want rings? I mean, y'all know deep down or however the case, that's not good enough to win a ring. The way that they played versus Green Bay. I mean, come on now. AJ Brown barely any touches or however the case, and then come on. And I'm not blaming it on Jalen. I blame it on coaching. It's like they're allergic on throwing it on 3rd down. Jalen was 10 for 12 and 2 touchdowns from a clean pocket per Next Gen Stats. So according to Next Gen Stats or however the case, and they're like really accurate and whatnot, he basically only missed 2 passes or however the case, and he had 2 touchdowns. So that's pretty freaking efficient. And then the season from a clean pocket, he's had 74% completion, 8.7 per attempt, which is second, and then his completion is second, or however the case, and then his quarterback rating 110.3, and then 14 and 4 in terms of pocket throws, interceptions, or however the case, the touchdowns over the regular season. So he's had 14 passing touchdowns and only 4 interceptions while in the pocket. So I mean, he's pretty solid in the pocket. You know what I'm saying, when he needs to be. Quinyon Mitchell, he's the first Eagles rookie with a playoff interception since Roynell Brown in January of 1981. And Zach Bond, he's the first linebacker with a playoff interception since D'Amico Ryans in 2014. And Nolan Smith, he's the youngest Eagle to record multiple sacks in a playoff game. So that's 3 Eagles making history. So again, Quinyon Mitchell, he's the first Eagles rookie with a playoff interception since Roynell Brown in January of 1981. And then Zach Bond is the first linebacker with a playoff interception since D'Amico Ryans of January of 2014. And then Nolan Smith, again, youngest Eagle to record multiple sacks in a playoff game. He had like 2.5, something like that. So, I mean, that, heck yeah, 3 Eagles, making history and things of that nature. Heck yeah, absolutely good to see. Very encouraging going forward. Again, I'm just nervous about the play calling offensively and things of that nature. So, Last thing, or however the case, like in terms of that, in terms of like the wild card round, Herbert and Love's combined 7 interceptions. Herbert's 4 and Love's 3 are completely under the radar. But the fact that Jalen threw for 2 touchdowns, 100 and plus a quarterback rating, or however the case, no picks, you know what I'm saying, no turnovers, or however the case, and things of that nature. Just because he doesn't throw for 400 yards, 4 touchdowns, or however the case, he's the worst in the league. How is that not news? You have two guys who are supposedly better arms than him and things of that nature. Herbert, he's one of the most glazed quarterbacks in the league, and he threw for 4 interceptions, one of those being a pick six. I mean, come on, you can't turn your back to that. I mean, come on now. Jalen was efficient. He didn't turn the ball over and things of that nature. He did his part. He audibled. He audibled into the Dallas Goedert touchdown as well. So, um, and Dallas, by the way, is still the only team to lose to a 7th seed last year, however the case, to Green Bay. Because last year, I guess they were also a 7th seed last year, 2023. Fangio, he said he's not afraid to put in Trotter Jr. He said that he's got a good future, maybe like his future is now, or however the case, that he's got good instincts, he's smart, and that he has a lot of good qualities and things of that nature. So, he said something similar about Bond, so maybe Bobby King and whatnot can work very, very closely with him, over the course of the week to help him with his technique, or however the case, or whatever they think that he needs to work on the most, or however the case. But Nolan Smith, he also has more playoff sacks than Micah Parsons with 1. So as of right now, I mean, in terms of the playoffs, Nolan Smith's a more prolific playoff sack guy than Micah Parsons. It's just the truth. It's what the stats say. It's what the stats say. I'm sorry. We will be playing the LA Rams, as I said, Sunday at 3 p.m. Things of that nature. I absolutely excited to face them. At the same time, I am nervous because we will have like the same crappy refs that ejected C.J. Gardner-Johnson for no reason. Just keep it at 100. I am nervous about that part of it, or however the case. I am. Because refs can't overly control the game if they really want somebody to win. And obviously, everyone's saying how LA is going to win, or however the case, because they want to push like the LA storyline, and then Stafford versus Goff and things of that nature. I hope that doesn't happen. We need a ring, and Stafford can retire and all that good stuff. So, Howie confirmed is going to at least try to re-sign Zach Bond. At least he said that he didn't think that he'd be this good, or however the case, and that Zach Bond, to keep that in mind as they're doing the contract. So he is at least going to give it a try, or however the case, like once he gives them the contract. So, but obviously he has to sign it and all that. So that's all I have for news. But like a little Rams preview for you guys. I think the strengths and the weaknesses of the Rams are as follows. I think the strengths of the Rams is they have elite QBs. They have a really good quarterback. Their pass rush is really good. They do have Super Bowl experience. But the weaknesses are their run game, their O-line, their third down defense, and their secondary. I don't think their corners or the safeties are particularly like, oh crap, we know AJ Brown's gonna have a good matchup. Patrick Surtain, they don't have that, or however the case. And then obviously Smitty is playing this time. Last time we still beat him by 17 points, 15 points, or however the case. We'll talk about that later. That's the next segment. But I believe our strengths are our wide receivers, our running back and running game, our O-line. I believe we have a really good quarterback as well. I think we have some really good tight ends, Grant Calcaterra, Dallas Goedert, things of that nature. We do have Super Bowl experience as well. Jalen Hurts has been to a Super Bowl. And then Lane Johnson's won a Super Bowl, so he's still playing damn good, things of that nature. So, and obviously I believe another one of our strengths is our elite defense. Now, one of our weaknesses, I believe our weaknesses are offensive coaching and game planning. I think all that's just crap. I mean, whoever's, planning the games or however the case, they're like, yeah, we have 2 superstar receivers, we have 2 pretty solid tight ends, we have a generational freaking running back, the best offensive line in the league, and, at least a competent, quarterback. Jalen can throw a little 5-yard little pinouts or however the case to AJ, little slants or however the case. He's competent in that. And if he can't do that, then I mean, if they think he can't even do that, then they shouldn't have drafted him. Just saying. If they think he couldn't have even done that. And I know he was a second round pick or however case, but a second round pick, I mean, come on now. Even then. But me personally, I've been called the Jalen Knight or have the case because I do believe in Jalen, but I'm just saying, to that point of view, that's how I feel people, say that point of view or however the case is that if he's really that bad, then why they draft him? He's really that bad. Can't even make little 5, 10 little yard little slants. We've seen him do it, but they don't want to do it because then Jalen will get the credit or however the case. I don't know. Obviously, their top receivers are Cooper Cup, um, Puka Nakua, and Atwell. I think that essentially, if we can stop those three or however the case, and then Kyrene Williams, he did go for 1,300 yards. I would assume just like in spurts versus bad run defense, I would assume. Um, but essentially, our last weakness is only one elite linebacker, however the case in Zach Bond. He'll be the green dot. Um, it definitely hurts, not having, Nakobe Dean out there, so we can even consider that a weakness considering how good he's playing. And also, the refs that ejected CJ Gardner Johnson for nothing. Um, it's like a 50-50 record with them. I think we're like 4-3 or 5-4 or something. Basically like 50-50 or however the case. Um, but man. So what happened last time we faced the Rams, I think that's pretty important. Um, Most notably, there was no Saquon. I'm pretty sure there was no Goddard either the last time we faced them, but we still won 37-20. So yeah, 17 points. Saquon broke the Eagles' rushing record for single, for like a single game, 255 yards in a single game. Stafford was sacked 5 times, but this time there's no BG or Bond. Um, So, I mean, that would be two hypothetically sacks that wouldn't be there, however the case. And then we only allowed 72 yards rushing, 243 passing yards, and one sack allowed. So, the biggest differences, uh, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, is just no BG and whatnot, or however the case. Um, but yeah, that about sums it up for what happened last time. But the differences now, I think that would be the next most important thing to talk about is like the biggest differences that since it's a playoff game and things of that nature. So the biggest ones, the biggest differences now is that there's actually home field advantage. Last time it was in LA, I'm pretty sure. Um, this time it's going to be tougher and colder weather. Smitty and Goddard are playing this time, and I think we're the healthier team. Between us or however the case. Um, Definitely think it's going to be a good game, but predictions and why I think so. Uh, my prediction is that there's going to be two specific possibilities, and if they coincide or if they go with each other, I'll be wrong or however the case. So, in my opinion, if refs keep it close or our offensive coaches try to choke the game away or whatever the case, because they don't want to have a Super Bowl to boost their credibility or whatever the case. Um, I think it'll be 34-21. Eagles win. But if Kellen and Nick dial up something good for once, or however the case, and the refs call fairly, 40-19. So a bit closer of a game, or however the case, if the refs try to keep it close. But I think definitely in the fourth quarter we'll wear them down and things of that nature. So I could be wrong, or however the case. Losing Dean could impact more than what I initially anticipated or what we initially anticipated. And like I said, if they contradict, I'd be wrong or however the case. So, just specifying that or however the case, just in case people say, oh, well, you can only have one prediction. It's a two-part prediction. So, like, if, the refs call fair, I mean, you know what I'm saying, then this. But if they call bullcrap or however the case, then, But yeah, like I said, we got to shut down Cooper Cup, Puka Nakua, and Kyren, and we got to pressure Stafford, get a lot of sacks on him or however the case. Um, my explanation, the reason why I think so is because they're top 10 in the past. That's pretty much all they can do. Now, running wise or however the case, they're 24th in rushing yards per game, and then they're 20th in points. So that means they probably get most of their touchdowns from passing it or however the case. So. And then obviously their defense isn't that good either. They're 20th versus the pass. They're 22nd versus the run. They're 20th on third down, and they're 17th in points allowed. So considering how much talent we have, I mean, it shouldn't be close because I mean they play in warmer weather throughout most of the year, so we have that advantage. I mean, the only thing that kind of hurts is not having the Kobe Dean and BG. Other than that, I mean, I think we can still dominate them and then get to the NFC Championship, which is a whole different thing, or however the case. But um, so pretty much, I think it's at least going to be a 10-point win. And like I said, it's going to be the same refs that ejected C.J. Gardner-Johnson for nothing versus Dallage versus Washington. Sorry, not Dallage. I don't even know what Dallage is, but versus Washington. Sorry, um, among other garbage ref calls that they made in that game. So, and that's a concerning and a must-win game. For there to be garbage refs or however the case that screwed you before. I think Jalen has a great game. I think Barkley has a great game. I think A.J. Brown has a great game. I think Fangio, Bond, DeJean, Quinion, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and company find a way to lock up Nakua and Cup and etc. Have the case for a playoff win and things of that nature. So yeah, that's kind of what I think, and that's kind of where my mind is at, or however the case. Comment down below what you guys think at any point, or however the case be. I thank you guys so much for watching. Um, I'll also add like little feedback things, or however the case. What do you guys think, or however the case. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. All the support thus far, all the views and things of that nature. I really do appreciate it. Share to all your friends that might get some entertainment out of it, or something out of it, or however the case. If you're Eagles fans, or something like that, or if they're playing us, get our perspective, or however the case. But thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, God bless. Peace out.